At my daughter's wedding, my wife handed me a badge that said limited access guest, and that's when I realized I wasn't supposed to be your father.
The paper badge was thin, cheap. It scratched my fingers when I turned it over. Limited access guest. Black ink, no smile. My wife leaned in like she was sharing a secret meant to protect me. That means no plate, she whispered. Her breath smelled like champagne and relief. I looked around the hall. Crystal lights, linen tables, 1,000 small, expensive details, most of them paid for by me. My daughter stood at the altar, laughing, radiant, unaware. Something inside me went quiet. Not broken. Paused. I walked to the gift table slowly, every step measured. I retrieved the envelope I'd placed there that morning. Heavy. Official. The number printed inside still burned behind my eyes. 370,500 lord. The wedding fund. The last contribution. I think you won't need this anymore, I said, setting it down where everyone could see. My daughter turned, confused. My wife's smile shattered. Come back, she shouted. I didn't, because this didn't start today. Today was just the performance. 3 months earlier, I noticed the way my wife stopped saying my name. She replaced it with silence. Phones don't lie. People do. She started guarding hers like a passport. Screen down, sound off, bathroom door locked. I didn't accuse. I watched. At night, lying beside her, I listened to her breathing change when messages came in. Not fear, anticipation. I told myself it was stress, wedding planning, empty nest anxiety. That's what men like me do. We rationalize our own replacement. Then came the seating chart. My name wasn't beside hers. Just logistics, she said too quickly. You don't mind, right? I minded, but I nodded. Because power doesn't rush. The real fracture came with a file folder. Manila. Unlabeled. She hid it badly. Under the bed. Sloppy for someone who'd been careful for years. Inside were bank statements I didn't recognize. A lease. And photos. Not romantic ones. Strategic ones. Her hand on another man's shoulder. His hand on my daughter's back. A man who'd been around for years. Helping. Advising. Smiling. The man she told me was just a family friend. My pulse stayed steady. That scared me. Because when anger doesn't explode, it reorganizes. I didn't confront her. I didn't warn anyone. I called a lab. Quiet. Professional. No questions. I'd raised my daughter with devotion. With sacrifice. With faith. But faith isn't proof. The swab left my hand. The envelope closed. And as the wedding date approached, my wife grew lighter. Happier. Certain. She thought the story was already written. Standing there with that badge in my hand, watching her confidence crumble, I realized something with terrifying clarity. She believed I was still the man who didn't look too closely. She was wrong. The email arrived at 2:14 a.m. No greeting, just an attachment. I opened it alone at the kitchen table while the house slept. The kind of silence that presses against your skull. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. I didn't reread it. I didn't need to. 30 years of fatherhood collapsed into a statistic. Cold. Final. I sat there until sunrise, watching light touch the walls I'd paid for. The memories didn't hurt the way I expected. They reorganized themselves, like files being moved into the wrong folder. Suddenly labeled evidence. I thought of birthdays, graduations, late-night talks. None of it vanished. But it changed ownership. I asked my wife one question that evening. 1. Why did you give me a limited access badge? She froze. Not confusion, calculation failing. It's nothing, she said. You're overthinking. I slid the report across the table. Didn't look at her. Her breath broke. A sound I'd never heard before. Raw. Animal. You weren't supposed to know, she whispered. I finally met her eyes. They searched for something. Anger, tears, mercy. I gave her none. So you planned the seating, the badge, the humiliation. Pause. And the man walking my daughter down the aisle? Silence answered. That was enough. The wedding was immaculate. Perfect lighting. Perfect vows. A perfect lie. When I placed the envelope back on the gift table, I didn't announce anything. I didn't accuse. I didn't shout. I let absence speak. My daughter chased me into the hallway, dress gathered in her hands. "Dad, what's happening?" I looked at her. Really looked. "You were loved," I said carefully. "That part was real." Her face crumpled. My wife followed, panic stripped bare. "Please, don't do this here." "This was done long before here," I replied. I handed my daughter the report. Not to punish her, to free myself. I left the building without turning back. Behind me, the story collapsed publicly. Whispers, phones out. Faces changing as truth traveled faster than lies ever do. The man who replaced me couldn't replace the funding, the image, the history. By morning, lawyers were involved. Accounts frozen, names removed from documents, futures revised. I didn't celebrate, I slept. Weeks later, my wife tried to speak to me like nothing had ended, like control could be negotiated back. "I made mistakes," she said. "No," I corrected softly, "you made plans." I signed the last paper and stood. She cried. I felt nothing. People ask if I regret walking away. They think absence is weakness. They don't understand leaving was the only move that proved I existed beyond their deception. I didn't lose a family that day. I escaped a fiction. And for the first time in years, my life belonged to someone honest. Me.